I'm just trying to get to the core of when I'm thinking about the average 40 plus old person that's in a relationship. Sex is probably not at the forefront of their connection. It may be like some part of it is involved, but if they're really just looking for a companion.
You're speaking from a privileged place.
Might be right.
So shut the fuck up. Yeah,
you might be right.
You're speaking from a privileged
I'm
place.
for someone who gets as much sex as I want.
And you've probably seen so much.
But because the only reason why I want to, because I'm trying to play devil's advocate for a moment because
take an average man. An average man has not had that much experience. An average man spends endless hours scrolling on the internet, seeing women that have never even known he exists. You see half of the baddies that you've gone online on. You'll meet them at parties. They'll talk to you.
Yeah.
So for you, of course, you can prioritize sex.
Right.
But we're talking about the
average.
average.
Because again, even and if I'm being honest, I do that. That's most likely a manipulative tactic sometimes.
Yeah,
because
you deprioritize.
I'm like, oh, I don't want your sex. I don't want. Like, then they're like, what do you mean you don't want my sex? And then they don't have another superpower to throw at me. It then gives me even more power.
Even more leverage.
But now, because again, I want to play devil's advocate. I want to remove all of the tricks. I want to remove all of the kryptonite, all of the little things we can use. If we're getting to that core of just, it's about love. It's about companionship. In that way of just saying, I just want to find my person. And, because if we're in our 60s, it ain't about how well I'm knocking it down no more.
You know what? Again, your privilege is obvious, yeah? Because you've had this. I've met men who, and they're 55 years old. They've even had like erectile dysfunction for a long time. They'll even get a pump to get it up to go visit a prostitute. So what I'm saying to the average man.
So you're saying regardless, it's always going to be about sex and
it's not
desire.
that it is. It's just that unfortunately that's what our preferences have been hijacked by due to the saturation of sexuality.
Here's what you get in a one-to-one with me. Immediate actionable advice that you can take on after the call and improve your love life instantly. I've worked with thousands of clients and my main feedback tends to be is how much money I've saved them because they don't need years of therapy, months of work. Instead, they get all of their questions answered in just 1 hour. Click the link below to see.
Yeah. I'll go here then.
Yeah.
Because and I've had this conversation with many.
But I do. Sorry to interrupt you, but that mentality of deprioritizing sex is the only and quickest way to get the best relationships possible.
Because that's
that's the quickest way to get it, but men just don't realize it.
Because what I was the other world that I would offer up that it isn't about privilege and it isn't about even the process is when you go to religion.
Yeah.
And specifically, even in Christianity, they prioritize removing lust.
Yeah.
And it's all about, even when you're meeting your person and finding your mate, you can't talk about sex, you can't think about sex, you got to do it in the order of God, and sex can't happen until marriage. So in that, there's a community, there's groups of people that are going to say, I'm desiring a partner. The goal is still to have a husband or a wife, but sex can't even come into the conversation because the way to do it right, to say if I'm really going to find the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, it can't be a lustful process. It has to be, I'm getting to know this person and to see if this is my person, regardless of my pornographic thoughts, regardless of my lustful energy, regardless of what I'm inundated with throughout the day. I have to say this is my wife because she's a virtuous.
Yeah, well, here the same in Islam, we do the same thing. It's like the lust is taken out because it's not accessible before marriage. But even though again it's in Islam, but I also recommend it to my clients is that if you want to find a really good compatible woman, your person, then look for a couple of traits. The first one, choose someone you're attracted to, but she's also attracted to you. Attraction is important. We can't ignore that.
So attraction and lust are two different things.
Yeah.
We have to make that clear.
Yeah, attraction.
You can still be attracted to someone, but not thinking I want to sleep with
Here's the key difference between attraction and lust. Attraction is reciprocal. Lust is you desire one way. You desire her. You don't even care if she desires you back. Your desire for her is so excessive, whether she wants you back or not is secondary. So it's like the guys that follow the girls on Instagram, go on OnlyFans, they're lustful. Attraction is she's messaging you back. You're calling each other.
But it starts with lust.
It starts with
doesn't turn into attraction until she hits you back.
Yeah, then it's attraction. But if it remains one-sided, it remains lustful. It's lustful. So the attraction is the first thing. Second thing that God recommends, but I also recommend this to guys, is look at her family background. Always look at a woman's background. Her relationship with her father will tell you her relationship with you and relationship with your kids. And this is something men really overlook. And I think they're a bit stuck in America because everybody is raised by single-parent homes. It's quite difficult to find a woman that's got a good relationship with her father. But men and women who have good relationships with their father, it does something to their self-esteem and it does something to their marriage unit. When you grow up without access to your father or a disdain towards your father, which is even more dangerous, you raise your kids on how to disrespect men. You raise yourself how to live without them. And it trickles into your own kids. So when you grow up without respect for fathers, you generally have a lack of respect for men and male authority. There has to be some male authority in your homes. Has to be. Somebody has to say, no, it's too late. Get the kids back in the house. There has to be some fear of fathers, because fathers will be there to protect you from your own mistakes. Mums give you unconditional love, but fathers, there needs to be consequences to your actions. Fathers should be the ones that execute that. Problem is, we see that as toxic. We see that as abusive. I was always terrified of my father growing up. I'm still terrified. Like now, I can't wear anything. You can ask the production. I was like, if my chest or anything shows, can you let me know? Because my dad will murder me. Honor killing is not out of reach. I always appreciated that because it keeps you aligned. So the second thing is always look at her relationship with her fathers. Some women can't help that they weren't grown up with their fathers, but do they have a distaste and hatred towards him? That's a slightly different emotion. It's very difficult to hate your father without your mother's influence. So there would have been some toxicity passed on to her about men in general. It doesn't just stop at fathers. It extends to men in general. Wow. So if she really hates her father and you really hate your father, chances are you'll bond over that. You say, okay, me too, we both got these, but you'll create children that dislike their fathers. So really avoid people who have a disrespect for their household backgrounds, parents in general. The third thing I always recommend to men, and again, this is some religious connotation, is choose a woman that has the ability to generate money, even if you don't need her money. Always look for women.
Say it louder, please.
Look for women who have the ability to generate money, even if you don't need her money. And the reason why this is super important is because women without the ability to generate money, they don't know who they even attracted to. They don't fall in love in the regular way. They fall in love in survival mode. They're like, okay, what can you do for me? They fall in love with what you can offer them. So they firstly choose who can save them from their own issues, because not having financial security is very difficult. Secondly, when you don't provide that for them, they've always got a replacement on standby. They usually have something because they need a backup plan. They treat men like they treat jobs. If one is failing, they go for another interview. If another interview, they treat the same thing. So the ability to have some financial stability in a woman, not only does it keep her a bit busy, so she's not constantly stressing about the relationship or picking problems, she's a bit busy, but it also gives a genuine relationship because you know that she's with you for you. But women that don't have money, what they'll do is they'll stay with you, not because they particularly love you, but because they don't have a financial option, and they'll cheat on you. They'll use you. They'll disrespect you. They're not there out of love. And some people really want a genuine connection. So it's hard to find that when the woman is in financial survival mode. So choose somebody that, even if she's not working, never works, but she has the ability to generate her own income. She's a bit more she's selecting you for you, usually.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, because look, if I didn't have my own money, I would walk into a room and be like, I don't even care who I'm attracted to, who's wearing a nice watch, who can help me, and who can pay for my rent, because I don't know how this is coming. And especially if I didn't have a father as well to support me that. I don't care who I'm attracted to. I don't need someone pretty. I need someone who can do the. So I go into it with the wrong intentions. But with the ability to generate your own income is, now I can choose somebody that can maintain my lifestyle that I can also do without him. So if he acts a fool, I'll leave, no problem. I've got that strength to make that decision whether I'm there rather than just using him.
Can we go back to the first thing you said with attraction?
Yeah.
How, specifically from a woman's point of view and standpoint, how does she know what she's attracted to? Because even what you said, some women nowadays, because they just automatically think transactional, they're attracted to money. They're attracted and I also I've talked to many women and they're like, I don't care what he looks like. That's not what makes me excited. They like security and comfort. So if someone can make them comfortable, that's what they believe they're attracted to. They're not looking at they don't care if he's cute or if he has muscles.
Well,
It's
you'll see that really successful women do care that he's cute. You'll see things like Mariah chose you. She didn't need a penny from you. Like, yeah, she doesn't need a penny from you. So look, here's the thing: successful women. Madonna is now with a 30-year-old, or like, you know, you see Cher with these. We all know what we're attracted to. We're attracted to, you know, beautiful men. But the problem is that comes secondary when you're in survival mode. So when she's not in survival mode, she can actually choose what she's attracted to. And what you're attracted to is what would you allow to touch you easily with or without what he offers you. Not who you necessarily want. Who would you allow to access your whole body with or without his money, income, anything. Because look, you've got to remember, even these girls that do go for sugar daddies, they get drunk in a club and sleep with a guy that night. There's always some guy that can take her home for free.
Right.
They do have a type. They do have a type. They just don't. They're not able to access it until they're financially secure. So that's why a lot of rich men will have these young girls, and they cheat with a guy that's around the same age. And usually we're attracted to people we grew up around. So if when you were young, the guys that were cool in school and that kind of type, that is usually our type pretty much forever. It creates a template of what we find attractive pretty much forever.
That makes sense. And how much is it physical, or is it like, because I always say like funny guys, guys with charisma, regardless of what they look like, they can become attractive because of their personality. Is that a thing?
It's a physical combined with her ability to be herself around him. Now, when you're always tricking guys, you have to pretend that you need money, and you have to keep being on tricky. That's why they'll always have a boyfriend that they grew up with who knows all the tricks, and she could just be herself, and she could take them on. So it's a combination of like physical attractiveness, but who she could always be herself with, who she didn't have to pretend and trick and lie to. She could actually be herself with, and that's the person that she would actually choose if it was up to her and she wasn't in survival mode. So that's why after they finish with the sugar daddy, they might go back to a college boyfriend that knew all the situation beforehand.
All right, I'm gonna flip it on you.
Yeah.
Because in all of our sessions, and even you've thrown this at me, saying that my perspective is very privileged.
Yeah,
I also believe you have the pretty privilege, and your perspective is coming from a perspective of someone who is, above average when it comes to your ability. Like you see it through a lens of someone who's very attractive. So what about the average or even below average person who's seeking all what we're talking about, specifically a healthy relationship? Yeah. They don't have the option of getting the guy that they want, or the cute guy, or the guy with money. They just got to get a guy. They happy to have any man.
But then the problem is that even unattractive people are fussy these days. Even unattractive.
How dare they?
Yeah. But you'll see, this is where TikTok has really destroyed, women's preferences, because you'll get unattractive girls saying, "No, I'm somebody's dream girl. I don't need to settle." Or you'll see these unattractive men being like, "No, I need a high value woman. I need someone with a low body count." And it's like, bitch, you can't get anyone. Take what you're given. So the problem is that the problem with people who are unattractive is that they're usually very bad at knowing their marketplace value. They tend to guess above. So what ends up happening is when they see their accurate pool of who they can select from, they see that as settling. If similarity feels like settling, that means that you have an inflated perception of yourself. And what I mean by that is, if I put you with somebody who's similar age, similar attractiveness, similar income, and you're like, "Oh, I don't want that," that means that you have an inflated version of who you are. Really, true people with high self-esteem, they want someone similar level of attractiveness, similar kind of demographics, similar income. They want similar to them because they like them, so they want someone similar. Yeah. People who don't like themselves see matching with somebody similar to them as a downgrade, because they haven't truly realized their own value. So I'll meet a guy that maybe he's like a lot older, he might be like 55 years old, and he's like, no, I only want to date 28-year-olds because I want to have kids, so I want to date 28-year-olds. I go, what 28-year-old wants to have a kid with you? Like, why would she choose you? Right. And he's like, because I don't want, and I said, but then you have to go transactional. Buy her. No, I want it to be real. I was like, bitch, you need to either be with somebody in her late 40s and accept similarity and accept that chance of being with that young, beautiful girl is gone, or you can access that young, beautiful girl, but make it transactional.
So is that acceptance is what that it comes to?
It's liking who you are is what it boils down to. Good looking, bad looking, whatever it is, liking who you are, liking who likes you, and avoiding comparisons to people who are out of your league. Simple.
I think that's a great place to put a pin in it, because you just, boom, that was the thesis.
Yeah.
And I mean, man,
I don't personally.
I'm trying to see it from every perspective, but that's exactly what it is.
This is what unattractive people are doing. They're comparing what they're getting. Like, oh, I don't like the matches I get online, or I don't like that. I'm like, but that's all you can get. Stop comparing them with people who don't like you.
Like yourself,
yeah,
and then like who likes you.
Like who likes you, and then stop comparing who likes you with the people that are out of your league.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That one went fast.
Time flies when you're causing trouble on the internet, right?
Absolutely. Well, we have to do this again.
God willing.
You don't make it off to the
I'm going to make Nick Muslim, by the way.
Yeah. She's going to convert me. I already got the turban. I'm ready.
I'm going to bring you to Dubai next time, inshallah. We're going to try and do one there as well.
Let's do that.
Let's do it in Dubai.
I absolutely
inshallah.
will do that. So this has been amazing. Thank you for all 3 of these sessions, the 3M. One more time, if people want to, take the coaching.
Please feel free to just jump on my website and you can be coached by me, where you get a whole program. And I really, I'm not one to kind of push sales because I'm bad at it. Yeah. But this is something I'm genuinely really proud of. There's no way you'll come out of this program without a complete understanding of what women truly want, not what they tell you they want. And you've got me along there trying to dissect it based on your own standards, because I understand everyone's different, but there is consistencies in what women reward and what they punish. And this will teach you exactly that. And you get to do group calls with myself and meet a community. So I'd love to have you guys there.
Amazing. Well, these 3 sessions have been extremely helpful for me, and hopefully I know the audience feels the same way. So continue on, and it's been an honor, privilege, and a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much.
Council Culture. We out.